Hey everybody, how's it going? Hollywood Pizza here, and I hope you've been keeping it cheesy. We're gonna get ready to stomp some face today with Mono Green Aggro. This is one of my favorite archetypes for sure of all time. Can never get enough of the big green beasties. But this deck list today is actually a deck list. It's only one card different than the version that our great friend DeFore, another awesome streamer, and just great content creator overall, has been playing on the ladder. They actually took a list very similar to this. Like I said, just one card different, all the way up to number 98 on the MTGA ladder. We actually were able to rank up with this deck back up to where we have pretty much been coasting here in the top 300. So you're going to get to see a lot of that action and see how we kind of roll over some of these Rakdos or even some of these sacrifice decks. So let's get into the deck list here. To start us off, we got some 1-drops in Land of War Elves to help ramp us, and Pelt Collector to keep the beatdown going, essentially playing the Pelt Collector and then playing other creatures that are bigger than it to get it to a massive proportion. And as long as it has 3 or more counters on it, it can get trample. So it can kind of get out of hand pretty quickly. The Land of War Elf also helps us ramp into our 3-drops on turn 2, which are pretty massive and can kind of outrace a lot of what our opponents are going to be doing most of the time. Also in our 1-drop, which essentially ends up being an X spell, but sometimes you will play it for 1, and that's Primal Might. One of our only interaction cards in the deck. We run 4 of them, just a phenomenal card. An old, standard, all-star, still just as good an Explorer. You can kill really big creatures with it, or you can also kind of just like get in for massive amounts of damage after having killed something. For our 2-drops here, we actually, the first difference of the deck, the only difference of the deck that we ended up making was that DeFore was playing 2 resilient Kenras. And I like Kenra, it's just that sometimes, for me at least, it felt like it wasn't doing enough, or sometimes I wanted to have like an additional removal spell, which is where we ended up adding 1 Inscription of Abundance, which I've seen Rent, who is another mono green player, I've seen them play that in their main deck and sideboard, so I wanted to give Inscription a try, and it was actually really, really phenomenal. I definitely would consider adding maybe more either to the main deck or the sideboard. Our additional 2-drops we have here is going to be Scavenging Ooze, which actually helps in a lot of different matchups. It actually exiles creature cards from the graveyard, gains you life, and can help in all kinds of variety of matchups. But overall, just a solid 2-drop. Another great 2-drop that we have that actually helps us get very aggressive is going to be Werewolf Pack Leader. 2 mana, 3/3. Whenever it attacks, if you attack with something greater, power greater 6 or more, all together with the creatures you have, you get to draw cards. So this card essentially is just great card advantage, and it's a really, efficient card at 2 mana, 3/3. The stats are there. It just does everything that you want it to do essentially in the deck. Just a great little curve and late game card. In our 3-drop spots, which we're going to use our Land of War Elves to help ramp us to, we have Ronus the Indomitable, which is actually kind of just a solid card overall against specific matchups that are only dependent on destruction spells. And this card can kind of just like get out of hand. It's already a 5/5 for 3 on top of that. You can kind of pump up your other creatures if need be, give them trample, or even pump them up to the point that the Ronus can attack. So Ronus, just a strong card overall, has Death Touch as well, so it can definitely kill some of these huge threats. We also have 2 Kazandu Mammoth to kind of help with the land base, and on top of that, kind of give us a little bit of some additional 3-drop power, as it can sometimes be just a 3 mana 5/5 as long as you're getting your land drops going. We have 4 Old Growth Trolls and 4 Steel Leaf Champions. These are the big beefy beasties of the deck that we essentially are trying to get out pretty quickly. Old Growth Troll, if it dies, it helps ramp. It also has trample. Steel Leaf Champion essentially can't be blocked against a lot of the cards in the format, so it can pretty much just turn into like a 3-turn clock sometimes just by itself, and your opponent definitely has to deal with it quickly. The 4 toughness on both of these also helps a lot against red decks, anything like that that are going to deal 3 damage, any strangles run around. We also have one of the biggest cards in the deck, which is going to be Collected Company. Just a fantastic card overall. You can get 2 creatures off the top of your deck. Mana value 3 or less. Sometimes you'll get a Steel Leaf and an Old Growth Troll, a couple Trolls, maybe even a Pelt Collector and something else to kind of boost it, anything like that. Collected Company is just a phenomenal card. You've seen it on our channel already in our previous video with Angels, and we're bringing it back with Coco here in the Mono Green Aggro. For our mana base, we're actually keeping it pretty simple. We have 18 Forests, 2 Bosejus, and 3 Lair of the Hydras. Though it seems like a little bit of a lot of lands, considering we have Land of War Elves in the deck, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're able to cast all of our spells on time. So that's the main reason why there's so many forests. The two bow sages essentially help against any type of problematic permanent, from a witch's oven to a fable of the mirror breaker. And then we also have a 3 layer of the hydras in case our creatures start to die, or to give us that extra reach near the end of the game. For our sideboard, we're actually running 2 Tamiyo safekeepings against any targeted removal deck, or board wipes that are just destroy effects, and it also gains us life on top of that. Protects us from any type of targeted removal spell. Just a phenomenal card overall that can actually target any permanents overall. 2 Cruel Harpooners, which are actually really, really great so far. They can kill Gilded Gooses. They can also kill just any type of problematic flyer, the Valkyries in the Angel deck, anything like that. Just a really, really phenomenal card overall. 4 Questing Beasts for those control matchups where you just don't really necessarily need the Primal Mites, or you kind of just need to go a little bit bigger, maybe mid-ranger against your opponent with these Questing Beasts. Just a, an old standard all-star as well. We also have 2 Shaper Sanctuaries to help against any type of targeted removal deck like a Rakdos Midrange, Mono Black, anything of the sort that we know is going to target our creatures to try to kill them. It was also very good against Jund Sacrifice as well, where Mayhem Double essentially has to target some of your creatures 3 or 4 times, and you could end up put your opponent in a situation where they don't even want to do that, and you could just draw a bunch of cards too. So really solid card overall. Couple of ram-throughs to help additionally with the removal. Essentially, you can just kill most things at instant speed with the cards that you have down, and then if that card happened to have trample, you can deal an additional excess damage. So Old Growth Troll, Pelt Collector, Ronus, using its ability, anything like that can help ram through, push through like a lot of power. 2 Unlicensed Hearse against anything that's graveyard based, like a Grease Fang strategy or maybe even some food strategies. I didn't necessarily bring anything against food, just because I felt like we had enough already in the deck with the 4 Scavenging Oozes. We can kind of out-aggro them as well with the Trample, but still an option to have in the sideboard against that deck and any type of graveyard strategy deck. We have 1 Great Henge, only one of them, it appears. Looks like this was just good enough, not necessarily trying to bring more into the main deck, considering that a lot of the format right now is mid-rangey with some decent removals. So sometimes you might want to bring this in to kind of help grind a little bit more. Maybe even against like a red deck, anything like that, to help gain you life and, kind of just start to take the game out of control. But overall, I think just 1 does actually seem correct, considering that there's some games where having 2 is bad, and then a lot of times you might even get it down because your creatures might die by the time you're trying to cast this. So overall, I think that the deck is phenomenal. I think it's one of the best decks in the format. Explore easily. I think you should give it a try. Take this to a tournament. Take it on the ladder. You're going to have success as long as, this is like your type of strategy. If you like beating down with big, green, dumb creatures, then this deck is for you. I know I do. I have tons of fun playing these strategies, so I hope that you enjoyed the video. Check out all of our content in the description below. See if we can stomp our opponents down a little bit with some big, beefy creatures here. Maybe get some rank going again. Fell down a little bit, but it's all good. We can definitely make it back. And this is definitely a keepable hand here. We've got 1 drops, 2 drops, and a tap land to potentially help us cast our 3 drops if we don't top deck another land in between. Being on the draw is a little bit rough, but our opponent mulligans, so it looks like we're playing against potentially a red deck or Rakdos if this is their first land. It looks like it is the Rakdos deck. Opponent potentially think about whether or not they want to kill this now. Looks like they will with the Bone Crusher. Good choice too, because it wouldn't have died with the inscription if we got into untap. Hoping to draw some lands here that actually come into play untapped as well. So it looks like they just have a Fable here. Inscription is going to help kill the flipped version of this. Drawing that land was actually really great. We have quite a bit of plays now. I think we'll play the Elf because it just gives us mana to cast our Collected Company. And we'll hold up this inscription in case we really need to do it. But I think we're mostly just going to be using the Scavenging Ooze to bluff a block here. This is one of the better decks in the metagame, so see how we do against it. So let's see if they go for the attack here. And gotta make the treasure token. Do we block? They definitely have something here. I don't know what it is. I mean, we can just exile the Pelt Collector. If they have a removal spell, they have a removal spell. I mean, I think we're just going to try to do it regardless. We have Coco on the following turn. Do they just have a push here? Yep, just a Fatal Push. Sure. Didn't really need to crack the treasure for it, though. Unless they have another card that they're going to cast now. Maybe another Fabled. Bone Crusher would be good too, I guess. We wouldn't necessarily have really good blocks on it. I guess if we had like some Old Growth Trolls would be great, just because we'll be able to ramp and hit more of our cards as well. I think they might just be going for the Bone Crusher play here. They're definitely contemplating it, it looks like. Yep. Okay, didn't draw land, but let's go play this Mammoth tapped. And we'll pass a turn back with this Collected Company. Having this inscription is great. Really hoping that our opponent doesn't have 2 removals. Even if they do, we have a Steel Leaf champion with the inscription backup, so... Yep. Gonna make a treasure. Ooh, not the best, but still something here. Think we kind of have to take the 2 from the token and then trade here if we get to that point. They have 4 cards left, which means that they potentially just have removal for us here. There is a stop, so let's see what they have. Could also just let us go to blocks to see what we do. Okay, they just have a Fatal Push there. And it looks like they have another removal spell for the pack leader. They have a Heartless Act. Alright, we're going to have to take 6 damage here. And they have 1 card left, which is a Blood Tithe Harvester, so... we definitely have to kill this Reflection now. Luckily, we have a removal spell for it. So let's go ahead and fight. And probably trade with the Bone Crusher. We're just like in a really rough spot right now. We could take some damage. It all really depends too if they draw the land for the Den of the Bugbear to activate it. Okay, gonna activate the Den of the Bugbear. So yeah, we're just gonna take a lot of damage here, unfortunately, and then they're just gonna hold back the Blood Tithe Harvester, so no matter what we block, we're kind of just in bad shape here. I think I'd rather do this to make them use the Blood Tithe Harvester to finish off the Steel Leaf, and then we could play another Steel Leaf next turn. Getting rid of their land is good too, because they're not able to make more 1/1s. That was actually just a really good draw, though. Let's see here. Yeah, we just pass a turn. We can just gain a lot of life now, and make our Scavenging Ooze bigger than everything that they can attack with. Let's hope that they don't have just another removal spell here. Could be possible. I mean, their deck is very mid-rangey and built around killing most of the opponent's cards, so... I'm going to get a redraw here. So if it's not a land, could be some gas. Let's see what our opponent's cooking with. Just another land. They don't have any good attacks. Let's start exiling all their creatures and all of our creatures that are fallen. They don't have anything else. We've got some cards we can eat here, though. Let's go ahead, just grab as many as we can. Use all of our mana. We still have 1 creature left after this. Okay, Collected Company is great, exactly what we want to see. I don't think that we can attack. And I'm not really going to cast anything, because if we cast this, it taps us out. Pretty much won't be able to do this, and we can just wait to do this on our opponent's turn. They're going to thin their deck out a little bit. And even if they draw a removal spell, we're still looking really good just because we have this other Coco, and Still have one creature in their graveyard for a replacement Scooze. Okay, Hive's pretty good. Opponent still just doesn't have any good attacks. We'll go ahead and cast this Collected Company. And I think I want the Werewolf Pack Leader just because it draws us cards. But I also want the Old Growth Troll because it's just massive. Opponent's at 20. We have one creature. They don't have any creatures. I think we just go for drawing a card here. I'll probably trade with their Bone Crusher. Okay, just drew a land. A little bit unfortunate there, but mana's mana. Still going to get in for some trample here. They might also just not even block considering they're at 20. But it seems too good to not do it. Okay, yeah, I mean, completely fine with taking out their whole board here. They just have Hive of the Eye Tyrant. And then now we just have a lot of ooze food. Plus we're going to have a big lair eventually next turn. And let's go ahead and play the Steel Leaf down. Can also just make another 4/4 trample. I think that's probably what we're going to do. We might be playing a little bit conservative, but we are at 12 life. I don't necessarily want to just go all in yet. Yep. And we'll go ahead and sacrifice this. Looks like our opponent's going to get some redraws. Oh, we needed to make that a creature, so apologize about that. Forgot about the enchantment side of it. And it could be relevant later, considering our opponent might have drawn a removal spell here for the ooze. Okay, they're not doing anything yet, though. I'll get rid of a Bone Crusher. They don't have a response, it looks like. At least from what Arena's telling me, right? Unless they just F6'd past the turn pretty much fully. 3, 4, 5. So we can make this for 5. And just come in here for lethal. Take game 1 against Rakdos. Pretty tough matchup, I think, too. Honestly, just because they have so much removal, so... We're never going to bring in the Shaper Sanctuaries. The Tamiyo Safekeepings are great here. Henge is an option. They could bring in a Braid, though, is the problem itself. I don't think we're going to win with Llanowar Elves. We can take all those out. We are shrinking our creature size down, though, so the Cocos aren't as good. Do we want to keep a couple of them in because it ramps us? Not necessarily, I don't think. Maybe we bring in the Questing Beast instead? Doesn't seem that crazy, though, against them. Let's think about this here. We know that we want to get rid of most of their threats still, so Primal Might is just fantastic no matter what. Can definitely shave on a land. We're on the draw. Harpooner isn't going to kill anything, though. I would like to bring it in because it's more of a beat stick. Kenra is also a little bit worse on the draw. Let's keep in 2 Llanowar Elves and let's try this out. Keeps our creature count about 25, 26, so... See if that's enough to kind of get this Coco over the top. Could just try to get lucky here. Alright, let's see if we get a good opening hand. I don't think this is good. We just have too many lands. We got a mulligan on this one. This is a lot better. We can definitely keep. We have our sideboard cards. We're on the draw. It's a bit risky, but I think I'll put the Mammoth back. I want to have both of these, and then if we just draw a land, we can make this bigger and then start attacking with that. Obviously, we're hoping this Spell Collector takes us a long way. Mulliganing is rough as well, but... who knows? Maybe we can grind our opponent down a little bit. And... Opponent mulligan down to 5, so 5 on the play. Really rough for our opponent here. Let's see if they try to just keep up with what we do. Pack leader's nice. Really hoping to draw a third land though now, just because we have everything pretty much that we need. I think I'll play the pack leader, pumping up this Pelt Collector. We have the Boseiju for the Steel Leaf Champion now. And we have 2 interactive spells. Okay, that's fine. Yep, we can fight through the Bone Crusher with the pack leader if it lives. Okay, nice. Alright, so I'm actually just going to initiate the attack here and see if they make the trade. We have Inscription plus Tameo Safekeeping. Opponent's not going to fall for it. I don't blame him. I'm just going to pass back. We have the protection spell for the pack leader now, so we might be okay. Okay, Strangle. I'll try to protect it. Actually, let's go for the Inscription. And then what we really want to do is we want to draw out another removal spell here and still get the 2 counters from the Inscription, which will be great. Right, so they're going to try to eliminate, and then now we can protect our pack leader and essentially counter 2 of their removal spells and have the biggest creature on the battlefield. And our opponent's only down to 1 card. We'll take 4 damage here. We'll go ahead and play the Lair tapped, play the Steel Leaf Champion. Come in for 5 damage. Put our opponent down to 12. And we have 2 pretty big creatures here. Obviously, we're not out of the woods yet. Opponent's still at 12 life. They have a blocker that can block the Steel Leaf. If they just have any removal spell, that's a hard removal spell, they can just kill the pack leader, so. Okay, Valky is going to take this pack leader. Pretty good grab from our opponent here. Okay, let's see if we can get to combat. Oh, wow, Primal Might. Would we rather save the Primal Might? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to do it here. Let's just kill this. See if they have a removal spell for us. We'll take the 2 damage. Okay, yep, they had removal. Bit unfortunate, but I'm just coming in for 5. If they want to trade both of their creatures for our pack leader, I'm okay with that. We're going to get a pack leader back. They lose their whole board. All they really have is creature lands. We have creature lands too. So opponents on the top deck, they have to draw a land in order to use the creature land as well. I think I'm just going to come in for 3 and see if they have the removal for us, and then we can use the pack leader later. Alright, they don't have anything yet, so we got some beatdown right now. And they're going to try to beat us back as well. So we're on the race here, chat. And let's go ahead and make this a 4/4. Put them down to 6. And let's see if they just tap out again. If they tap out again, then not really much going on. Ooh, really good draw, though, from our opponent here. They get to gain some life. We're hoping to hit a Collected Company. And we do, so that's just phenomenal. We'll pass the turn back. We played a spell, so at least that's really good. They have 2 cards left. This Collected Company is going to be great, though. We're going to be able to make some blocks. They might just rumble in with the creature land. Let's see if they get really aggressive. Okay, they're not going to do anything. We'll cast this Collected Company. Hoping to hit 2 creatures. Fingers crossed, and we do. Question is, do we want the Scavenging Ooze? We have 2 creatures here. Opponent has 2 creatures there. In the long run, the Scooz is better than 2 Trolls. Okay, they're going to flip that. We just have a ton of mana here. They can activate the Den of the Bugbear. 1, 2... 3, 4, make this a 6/6. Yeah, I think we're just attacking with all of our creatures right now on the battlefield. See if we can even get to attack. They might have a removal spell. They got 2 cards left. Gonna kill the pack leader. That's fine. Not getting a redraw is a bit annoying, but Let's make this a 5/5. Actually, let's let this resolve first. Do we want to make this a 5/5? That's a pretty good question. Let's come in with both. Opponent's just going to block there. That's fine. Let's see if they make the trade here. Okay. I'm okay with all of this. Go ahead and pump up a forest. Let's use the scoos here. Getting rid of most of the creatures that we can while we can. I think we're just going to save the enchantment as well to make a 4/4 troll, because that just seems great with the Lair of the Hydra. Our opponent having the Den of the Bugbear as a blocker is a little bit annoying, but we can still get through it. They don't have anything left. Let's eat one more creature here and then pass the turn back. Let's see what they have. There's definitely a stop, but it's just because they have 4 mana available for the Den of the Bugbear, so 2 cards now. Could have removal for us. Even if they do, we still have a Lair of the Hydra to get in there, so. Alright, we took it down 2-0 over Rakdos. Let's go. Ranking up a little bit in the process. That was a pretty close match. And considering that our opponent mulliganed a couple times there too, it was a really close game, I felt like, to the end. So, pretty surprised they didn't have enough removal, or maybe they just didn't want to cast some of their cards out. So, we were able to take it down, and we'll see you for the next one. Mono Green Machine, let's try and stomp them out, see if we can do it. Try to rank back up again. On the play, we'll definitely keep this. This hand's great. Looking for the 4th land for the Collected Company, but 2-drop into 3-drop, and then potentially 4-drop into double creature is going to be really nice. Especially looks like we're playing against Rakdos. Hoping to dodge a Thoughtseize here. Olgo Troll is nice against, multiple removal spells. Looks like Pack Leader's just dead. Yep. And we'll go ahead. We have double Troll. Having this Primal Might is also really nice as well. Still hoping to dodge Thoughtseize here. Any kind of discard spell that targets Fable Passage. Pretty good. We have the Beseiju for it. But we also have the Primal Might to just kill the card when it flips. So go ahead and come in for 4 here. Pass the turn back to our opponent. Cast this Collected Company. And then followed up with some more beefy threats as well. And it looks like they're going to discard a couple cards. They do have Murderous Rider, so that's going to be something to look out for later. Looks like they just have tons of targeted removal here. And let's see if they just have more. Ooh, a Ooze? Okay, I think we can do that. Are we going to get to go to blocks? We are. Okay. Let's go ahead and kill the token then. Pretty surprised about that. Are they going to use the removal now? Okay. So, I mean, technically using 2 of their cards for one of our cards is still what we'd like to see. And we're actually going to beat down a bit here. We could play 2 more creatures. Yeah, let's actually... Is getting the beef down worth it? That's actually the question. I think we make this a 4/4, put them down to 8, and then play another troll. That way we can just get in for damage now, because it looks like they don't even have a stop, so... We know that they just don't even have anything. Let's come in for 8. Play a troll, and then they just have a bunch of 4/4s that they have to deal with. And we have a Primal Might to potentially kill one of their cards. And our opponent's just going to scoop it up. We took down game 1 here. Let's see if we can keep that aggressive. We'll bring in the Tamios and the Shaper Sanctuaries, cutting all the Land of Werewolves here. Let's see. That does bring us down to 24. I think we switched it up a little bit last time, right? Resilience a little bit worse on the draw. You could say Mammoth's a little bit worse on the draw, too. We'd rather have that. I think, actually, no, we'd rather have the Mammoth than the regular land. Questing Beast or no? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't... no. It's just one card, right? So, you know, if we play it, they could just have a hard removal spell and then the Questing Beast isn't as good. I don't think that this is the matchup that you want the QB anyways. Opponent's still on the sideboard here. In all honesty, we're hoping to get the Shaper Sanctuary down, so that way anything that we play after that redraws us a card, and that's just going to help us grind out the Rakdos decks. And alright, this hand's actually not bad. If our Land of World dies, it's going to be a little bit upsetting, but still manageable. We could also wait, you know, to play it, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the Land of War Elf. Let's see if they tap out to kill it, which we'd be okay with. Okay, Stomp. And we have a Ronus. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake on my end there. Sorry, I meant to play the Lair, but that's okay. Ooh, Thoughtseize. Okay. Probably taking the Tameo safekeeping, or even the Ronus, because the Ronus might just be hard for them to deal with overall. There's a lot of cards that they could pick. I get a feeling they're going to lean closer to the Ronus because they can't kill it. And yeah, they're not going to do anything. Okay, it sucks that they got rid of the Troll, because we're not going to get any value off of it. Did they just have another discard spell here? Guess we should have just played the Ronus. They're just going to play that? I think I'm okay with that. We draw the untapped land. Let's go. Let's play this. As weird as it is, I think I'm just trading here. I guess we could protect and make them have to have the removal spell. That's actually just better, huh? And then they don't have a way to do Fatal Push, because they could try to Fatal Push now, which they might have it, which is why there's a stop. But the fact that they can't really activate the Revolt on either of our creatures is really bad for them. Yeah, that's way better. They're going to Kroxa. Just get rid of this Lair, unfortunately. Going to take some damage, that's fine. Could have a removal spell. Yep. Now they actually have the Fatal Push, because they had the Revolt. We'll play the Steel Leaf Champion. And come in for 5. They have 4 cards in the graveyard. They can't get the Kroxa back yet. Could potentially kill our Steel Leaf, which would be a bit painful. Okay, that's not bad. Let's see if they have the removal. Okay, just another land so far. So far, so good. We have Primal Might. I think I'm just coming in with both of my creatures because it's just 10 damage. They want to block, they can block. Yep. Not really sure. I guess they're thinking if we just give this trample. I'm just going to damage though. Like, I'm not going to tap out for that. I think I'll pass the turn back. They have another Fatal Push. We're at 9. Yeah, I can't really do anything about this. I can still do this when I want, so I don't think I want to do it right now. See what they draw. They're probably just going to Kroxa. But we can fight through the Kroxa. Yep. Guess we do have to get rid of the Primal Might now, though, which is a bit unfortunate, but... Or do we get rid of the Abundance? You know what, let's just get rid of the Abundance. We can kill this and then maybe draw another creature that we can pump with the Ronus. Yeah, that seems a little bit better, I think. We actually just have to just do this for one. Yep. They have Deadly Dispute, it looks like. No Deadly Dispute. Okay. Those decks don't normally play that, but it is a possibility. I think I'm just going to pass back and then try to get this to turn into a creature later and then be able to attack with the Ronus if we top deck a land. 2 cards. Alright, so could have a removal spell for us, but we're just going to go for it here. They also have Den of the Bugbear, which is a thing. Yep, looks like they just have a Noxious Grasp. Oh, can't do anything about that. Hoping to draw a Collected Company here. Opponent's drawing extra cards, so we need a way to deal with that as well. They're going to come in with the Den of the Bugbear, so I said they're just going to tap out for that. I'm actually kind of okay with that, if that's all that they got. It actually opens us up for a turn where we can kind of just hit them hard, right? Yeah, we can actually just come in with our Ronus now and put them down to 3. Could have a removal for the Steel Leaf. Their Goblin token can't block it. And our opponent's actually just going to concede. We'll go ahead and take down this match. Rank up a little bit more. And we'll see you for the next one. Alright. Get into some more games here with some Mono Green. Stomping it out. See if we can keep going up here. On the draw, a little bit unfortunate. And this hand is a mulligan as well. So let's take them all here down to 6, see if it's a little bit better. A bit questionable still. Opponent could be potentially on like a sacrifice type deck. They have Gigantha. It's a little bit risky, but I think I'll keep it. I think I'll put the Steel Leaf back. Keep the interaction. Keep most of our cards that we can play. We have a Llanowar Elf and a Forest, so let's see if that's enough. Okay, Gilded Goose. Alright, no second land yet. Has to turn back to our opponent. Obviously, if they Fatal Push the Elf, our game plan kind of goes out the window completely. Cauldron Familiar, gonna take the damage. And it looks like that's just all that they have right now, luckily. We do draw the land, so let's go ahead and get down this Old Growth Troll. Having the Ooze is also going to be really great against them. I don't want to just run it out yet in case they do have the removal spell and they haven't used it. Wow, all they have is Gigantha. That's actually really, really good for us here. We have a Pelt Collector and an Ooze that we can play. And they can kill this first Ooze, but then we have the second one, so we're somewhat baiting out the removal spell now. And on top of that, we're going to be able to keep the Pelt Collector on the battlefield if they end up just targeting the Ooze here. And they're going to cast a Gigantha, which seems really good, but in reality, we just have a Primal Might here, which kills it. So let's go ahead and just do that. And then we can come in with all of our creatures, even if they block with the Cat token, or excuse me, with the Cauldron Familiar. We're just going to be able to put this on our forest and then ramp into Collected Company on the following turn. And let's go ahead, put this here. And let's see what our opponent has. They're at 6. We have quite a lot going on, and we're going to get more on the battlefield pretty soon. And they have a food token to get back this Cauldron Familiar. Okay, they have another one. Going to go up to 7 here. Obviously, keeping the Ooze up would have been ideal. Let's see if they just pass back and don't. I guess they can make another... Actually, they can't make another food because it would require all their mana from the Goose. So yeah, they're just going to get the Cauldron back. And we can actually eat the Gigantha if we need to with the Ooze. Oh wow, they're going to push... It's actually pretty surprising that that's what they pushed. I think we're coming in with the Ooze regardless because it's damage here. Could play the Pack Leader if need be. Yep, they're just going to take it. Let's... cast the Coco on their turn. 2 cards left. Trail of Crumbs is a good card. Are they gonna... Okay, they just have a land left, so probably just gonna use some Trail of Crumbs at some point here. Looking for Steel Leaf Champions off of the top of our deck. Pack Leader and another Ooze is just as good. Just more threats on the battlefield. Opponent's at 6 anyway, so... we have another Coco. So let's come in with these 3 creatures here. Redraw a card off of the Pack Leader as well. Inscription's going to be great whenever we need to remove something later. Opponent's going to go ahead and block here. And I'm going to try to kill... Take this, just gain some life here. That's odd. Okay. Alright, they just get a land. They gain some life. The cat is gone. Let's play another Pack Leader and then hold up a Ooze. Pass a turn back. Playing a little bit safe, I guess, but can never be too safe against this deck. Okay. So what do we want to do here? I guess do we want the Graveyard Hate? I'm always kind of iffy about it just because we already have the Ooze, and I feel like we can almost go over the top of what they're doing. Tameo Safekeeping isn't bad if they have target removal, which they have the push, so maybe we just bring a couple of these in. Or maybe even just one. Also makes our cards indestructible, or we can bring in the Henge. Is the Henge better? Henge just grinds them out a little bit. Cut a land for a Henge. Could bring in the QB. I guess the Harpooners also kill the Gildagooses. So I don't mind those. Cut a couple Llanowar Elves because it's worse on the draw. Cut the Kenra. Bring in a Questing Beast, and we still have 28 creatures in the deck. Fantastic. Let's run this. See if the Questing Beast is enough to kind of get through them. Okay, this hand is a little bit slow, but we have a Ooze. We're on the draw. We have a chance of drawing more lands to cast the rest of our spells, so I think I'm okay with it. If we top deck a land, we're definitely going to go with Pelt Collector here. Yep. That way we can grow it with the Pack Leader. And then see if one of those cards can eat a removal spell, then cast the Ooze to kind of lock them out of their cats. So far, our opponent doesn't really have anything too exciting going on either. We naturally draw the land, which is great, so we'll just be playing all of our creatures here, it looks like. Gonna come in for 2 damage. And so far, looking pretty good. Let's see what our opponent's up to on their turn. We're definitely just going to keep the beats going with our big beefy creatures. I think we just... As weird as it is, I think we play the Troll in case that dies. The Troll already has Trample too, so... Steel Leaf is unblockable. Ooh, Pack Leader's going to die, but our Pelt Collector does grow. Oh, they're going to go for the opposite, which I'm actually a lot happier with there. Considering they used one of their removal spells, I think I'll go with the Steel Leaf. It's unblockable right now. Go ahead, come in for 3. And pass a turn back. Opponent's going to get the ramp a little bit. They do have 4 cards in their hand, quite a bit, but... Okay, comes in tapped. Mayhem Devil. Not really anything crazy. I think I'm just coming in first to see if we redraw like an inscription or something like that. Okay, just another Steel Leaf. I'm okay with that. They're just going to take the damage. Alright. I think we can actually make more mana now. Cast another Steel Leaf here. And we just have some big, beefy creatures on the battlefield that our opponent has to deal with. Oh, they are actually going to have some death touch, though, huh? Unfortunately. All right. They're going to get to shoot some things down. Yep, going to make the food token. Probably sacrifice it, gain some life shooting down the other steel leaf. Okay, Deadly Dispute just as good. And unfortunately, our board's getting wiped out here. Really needed a fight spell there to kill this. Yep, just going to sacrifice that, shoot down the pack leader as well, and really good turn from our opponent here. Might have not wanted to play anything, or I guess the Old Growth Troll would have been better. Taking the damage isn't a crazy thing by any means. Could play the Ooze to get huge. I think I'm just going for the Troll and the Ooze, just in case they do have another removal for us here. But they could shoot down the Ooze on their turn. This is where playing against Sacrifice gets a bit annoying because they're able to kind of just ping all your creatures down. I think we'll just make the 4/4 and pass the turn back. I don't want them just to kill all of our cards right now. I want to be able to just play this on the next turn and then start eating their creatures. Bit of a mistake earlier there. Definitely paying for it now, but they just have so many cards left. 4 cards left, and if they just attack, we can just ramp as well. Coco helps us quite a bit. Questing Beast wouldn't be bad. 3 cards left. They're just playing a land. And it looks like they're just going to pass back here. Collected Company right on time. Let's go to attack for 4. Can make a food. And pretty much negate all the life gain, or all the life loss. Let's pass the turn back. Gonna make a food token here, yep. Probably just keep it so that way they can have a bigger turn against us, maybe. Just going for the Deadly Dispute. Gonna draw some cards. So right now, a little bit of a back and forth game. Opponent was thinking about potentially sacrificing the treasure, it looked like. I have quite a bit of cards left now. So they could have lots of removal. We're just hoping to get some big beefy threats. We did run through 2 of our steel leaves. Aronis would be ideal because it's indestructible. And it also just makes all of our creatures have trample, which is fantastic. Corvold. Okay. Definitely not what we want to see. Let's see if we can hit a Harpooner here. Okay, we don't hit it. Do we want to hit the Pelt Collector? I don't think we want to do that. I think we just want to get the Ooze here. Corvold is going to get bigger, unfortunately. They get to deal 1 damage to something here. Let's see if they deal it to the Ooze. Going to go after the Pack Leader. Okay. So it means that they have more things that they're going to do here. Yep, going to sacrifice the treasure token. Yep, Corvold's going to keep getting bigger. So definitely in some trouble now. A fight spell would be ideal. Still. Let's just eat something. Don't really have a choice here. We'll gain a life. Still get some value out of it. Do they have another way of sacrificing? Maybe they just sacrifice the goose to go all in to kill our pack leader. Yeah, they are actually going to do that. Hoping for a Primal Might off the top. That would definitely, you know, potentially seal the game for us. Wow, looks like they actually have a removal spell for the Old Growth Troll as well. They have a Fatal Push, so... Lost all of our creatures yet again. Got our opponent down to 3, so... Oh, Collected Company is a great draw. So let's go ahead. Still can't really cast that. It's looking a bit weird. Can sacrifice that. Make a 4/4 that's not as good. We can ooze and Coco. Let's see if they waste some cards on killing the ooze. Considering most of their cards that they could sacrifice things with are pretty much gone. They do have a food left, so... And they have tons of cards. They've been redrawing quite a bit with the Deadly Disputes. If we lose this game, the positive thing is that we're going to be on the play next turn. So it looks like Vraska's just going to kill our ooze, or maybe they go for the plus. That's fine. They can blow up. They're at 3. They can go up to 6 off of this. Let's see if they just go up to 6 now. Oh, they're just not even going to attack. Okay. Well, they definitely know what's coming. 2 pack leaders. We get a redraw, which is great. Potentially. We get another Coco. So let's come in with both of these pack leaders. At our opponent here. Just going to go try to kill them. I don't want to waste any resources on the Planeswalker because it's kind of just playing into their game plan here. And see how they block. Okay, blocking with both. Can blow this up. Probably gonna... Let's actually do... If we do this, it could potentially just bait them into wanting to sacrifice a creature. Let's see what they decide. If not, then that just dies and then that's it. They get a land. Yeah, they're not going to sacrifice. They'd rather waste our resources some more. Getting rid of the Mayhem Devil here is pretty huge. Obviously, everything is a little bit sketchy because they have this Korvold. We have a Collected Company, though, to kind of reboost a little bit, so let's see if that works. I'm going to go ahead and play this tapped and pass a turn back to our opponent. Fortunately, if we had like an untapped land there, it would have been nice to get the Llanowar and the Coco down, but gotta do what we gotta do right now with the mana that we have available. Looks like they are going to go ahead and crack this food here, pump up the Korvold, gain some life. Opponent might still just pass back with this 8/8. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get aggressive here. And they have a Mayhem Devil. So it looks like our opponent's going to keep the damage going. They're going to gain a little bit of some more life here. Yep, Korvold's only going to get bigger. Two, three. How many creatures do we have? 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have a lot of creatures. Not going to attack. Still hoping to hit the Harpooner, too. Harpooner would be great here. Yep, Harpooner, Troll. Targeting this card. Alright, if they have a Deadly Dispute, they get to shoot something down, I guess. Yep. They get to shoot the Harpooner down. We still have a 4/4 trample, and then we have a creature land next turn that's going to be massive. The bad thing is opponent's just drawing so many cards, right? They're just getting through their deck. Yeah, looks like they have a Fatal Push for the Old Growth Troll, maybe. They made a black mana. Yep, Fatal Push. Go ahead and put this on a forest. Opponent is at 7. Let's play the Steel Leaf, make 2 4/4s with Trample, and then try to come in with our creature land. I think that that's fine. Could have came in with the Lair to like make them block, but then they just have so many cards and they still have mana untapped. I mean, either way they're going to have mana untapped, but I'd rather set up for like a bigger turn. We can make the lair a 3/3, which isn't terrible. Have another Corvold here would be a bit of annoying. Yep. And they do just have another one, so obviously a bit annoying, but still going to try to fight through it here. We have 4 attackers next turn. They're going to gain some life off of the Vraska, which is a bit annoying. Gildagoose is another blocker as well, and it makes a food token, so opponent has some more life now as well. It's getting a lot harder to actually get through. Primal Might's pretty much the only card that we really need to hit now to hope to end the game. It's not a guarantee either, though. And looks like our opponent's just going to pass. We're going to take 2 damage here, unfortunately. Yep. But we are going to get some 4/4s with trample. I think I'm okay making that trade. Like I said, if we get to game 3, then we actually are going to be on the play, so it helps a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and take another point of damage here, go down to 12. Okay. So far, all we know about is that they have the food. Boseiju isn't going to do it, though. I think we kind of had to go all in now. Not really a choice here. Alright, coming in with the creatures. They have a removal spell for us, unfortunately. Looks like they might have a cracking of the clue, plus a fatal push would be huge. It'll put them at 11, and they'll get the gain, or excuse me, they'll put them at 11 and be able to kill our Steel Leaf. And unfortunately, it looks like that's what they have. Probably going to start off with cracking the clue first, or excuse me, the food. Okay, that's the first block here. Mayhem Devil going to trade with the creature land. Going to take 8 damage, and then gain the 3, stay at 3. Really hoping to hit a Primal Might here. Oh, they just have a hard removal spell, so yeah, it's getting a lot harder to win this game. Can't blow that up either. Oh, I don't know if having another creature on the battlefield is better. Probably not, considering they can just block it with the Gildagoose. I think we're just forced to pass a turn here. Opponent does have less time than we do. Don't think that we're going to get through this game, though, because the Corvold's just going to get to a point where we could just die. And we're not dealing enough damage back either. Looks like they have. Yep, just going to do that. Yeah, we may as well move on to the 3rd game here. Not really waste any time. A bit rough, but it happens. I think that we definitely want the Tamiyo safekeepings here. And maybe even the Sanctuaries. Land of Werewolves not really cutting it, I don't think. I'm not going to keep the Questing Beast. And what else would we cut here? Not drawing the Primal Might was a little bit annoying, but it happens. I think we're just going to run this back and see if maybe the Henge helps us a bit. I don't know if like we over sideboarded there with like anti-targeted removal cards, but they definitely would have helped that game. Obviously cutting the Land of Werewolves is rough too, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I think that puts us down to 26 creatures, which is still fine for Coco. Our opponent's still sideboarding here. Let's see what they're up to once we get the game started. Alright, let's go dive in. Let's hope for a good hand here. We're going to be on the play. Hope to be aggressive. Pulp Collector into 2-drop, 3-drop would be pretty ideal. Or maybe even the Shaper's Sanctuary to kind of help protect us. This hand isn't bad. We got some cards we can cast, and we have the Tamiyos to help protect our cards later. So I think we're just going to run out the pack leader and then hope that we can beat down our opponent quite a bit with that. Ooh, looks like they might have... Okay, they just have a goose, so nothing too threatening yet. And we have a harpooner. I think we'll go ahead and just... I'm just going to kill the Gilded Goose. Yeah, let's get rid of that. That seems pretty decent. And then now if they want to waste a removal spell on our 2-drop, it's actually not that crazy. Okay, they just have Thoughtseize. Probably get rid of the Tamiyo safekeeping, unfortunately. It's just going to blank one of their cards. It just means that they have Fatal Push, it looks like, if they do get rid of the Tamiyos. We're going to be able to get in with the Harpooner, which is nice, it looks like. Or even maybe the Skoos will come down. And we can protect that and then start eating their cards out of the graveyard. I feel like the Pack Leader, though, is going to be the best aggressive option. They might also have like another 2-life for land to just really get this card out of the way right now. Yeah, they're just going to do it. Yep. Just have the Fatal Push now. So, we're not in the best situation, honestly. Like, yeah, we have a creature that we can protect, but at the same time, that's really all that we have right now. Okay, and they have a Fable, so yeah, it's gonna be a rough game for us, I think. Really hoping to top deck a removal spell. That is not it, unfortunately. And we just have to pass back, which is a bit annoying, but that's kind of where we're at right now in the game. So opponent, gonna redraw probably here somewhere. Quite a bit of cards left. Cannot target our cards though, or else we draw cards, and we have a Tamiyo to help protect against something, so really relying on the Shaper Sanctuary to get us there, honestly. They don't have a good attack, but they end up having a lot of mana. They might just want to keep the token around for when the Fable flips. Alright. Opponent's going to time here. Contemplating what their options are. I feel like we have them locked out to a certain point right now. Drawing this was great. Mayhem Devil, yep. Seems pretty good. And they're not even going to attack. That's great. Let's go get a Pack Leader down. And we'll pass a turn. Fable's going to flip, so we really need to hit a removal spell now. Or else we might just lose to this making copies of Mayhem Devil. Which is obviously just, you know, a nightmare for us here. Opponent down to 3 cards. Let's see what they're up to here. This Tamiyo's really hoping that it takes us there. We get a couple redraws with the Pack Leaders next turn if we get there too. We're definitely going to be doing that next turn regardless because we want to be as aggressive as we can if we don't hit a removal spell for this. Gotta hit the Primal Might here. Would be ideal. It looks like our opponent's thinking about what they want to do, considering that if they target our cards, we can protect them and redraw. So they're in a tough spot, but they're also going to start to get ahead with this reflection. So we really want to prevent this from happening. Yep. So they're just going to destroy the Shaper Sanctuary, or try to. And we can protect it. And I'm just going to attack. We got to get aggressive here. Let's attack their Vraska too. See if they make some blocks somewhere. Alright, well, we didn't hit a removal spell, so really in a tough spot here. Let's go ahead and get the Scavenging Ooze down. And we got to pass it back. I think that we're going to be in a really bad spot here. Probably not going to have a board. We are going to get to draw a lot of cards if our opponent essentially starts to just ping every one of our creatures down, but the problem is just the reflection right now. We have to kill it. We got to hit one of our removal spells. an inscription or one of the primal mites here. Haven't drawn a primal mite really so far. And they're going to go for some attacks. I'll go for a block here. Try to eat a card out of a graveyard. Their goose. And they're going to try to do that. We draw a card. We draw a troll. That's fine. Can't do anything about it anyways. So no damage happens. Alright, 2 cards left. If one of their cards left is a Corvold, we're definitely in some huge trouble here. Just because they're going to be able to get to do this here. They're paying life, so... Oh, another Fable, yep. It's getting scary here. The good thing is... Okay, good thing is that they can use it, but... Still get a couple redraws, too. Kind of just have to go for the redraws here. They're at 15. Let's try to keep pushing damage through and get a redraw. Okay, that's great. That's an answer to the reflection. So they're going to take 6. I'm just going to blow this up now. And they're going to go get a land. They might not even get some redraws off of this, but it's a possibility. Like if they top deck a land, they will. Hit them for 6, put them down to 9. And I think we're just going to play the troll here. Pass a turn back. They might get some redraws here. No creature lands on the battlefield. If they have a land, they can put Gigant in their hand and replay it, which is a little bit annoying, but it also puts them in the situation where they have to block a lot. Opponent didn't discard their card, so it's got to be a good one. Something that they could use right now, probably removal spell. If they use the removal spell, then they can't Gigantha, make a blocker, which is great for us. We're just going to try to keep the beatdown going here. We have Lair of the Hydra as well to try to get in. Okay, so they're just going to Boseiju that. That's okay. We're just going to get a land untapped. We actually have enough mana to activate both of the pack leaders. So we have 14 trample. They can block 7 of it. They can't kill this. They can gain life, though, too. Wow, opponent actually packed it up. We grinded that game out. 469. Nice. We'll see you for the next match. Mono Green looking really good so far for us. Been enjoying it quite a bit. I always love Mono Green though, so anybody that knows me from Twitch knows that I really, really love the green. And see what our opponent does. Gonna be on the draw a little bit unfortunate. We got some plays here. I think we can keep it. A little bit more on the interaction side this game, looks like, but... Okay, so it looks like we're up against the same matchup again. Mono Green food. Excuse me. Jund food. Could also be playing another deck as well. Not always going to be that deck, but more likely, yep. They do have the oven down. Do we want to play this ooze? Kind of have to. We can also blow up the oven, but I think I'll play the ooze first, get the mammoth down, and then Coco, and then we just have removal spells for their cards. They're probably just going to kill this, but it also means that it could take up most of their turn. Could have another black source to potentially... Yep, and they do, yep. Okay, they just have Mayhem Double right now, which actually isn't the scariest thing. And... quite a turn here for us. I think we just pass the turn back, as weird as it is. want to kill this Mayhem Devil, but I want to make it so that we don't just lose this ooze. I want to have some board presence. They could Corvold, which would be a bit annoying, but we can kill Corvold. And, okay, so they do have the Corvold. And they're just going to shoot us down. So that's fine. They're going to sacrifice the goose. I'm completely okay if they sacrifice the goose. Okay, yep. Going to deal more damage. Yep, going to deal some damage there. That's going to be a 5/5. And yeah, our Scoozes is going to be huge here. They thought about sacrificing the goose, but if they did, it would be really, really beneficial for us here. Could also blow up the Witch's Oven. That's an option, but I think we're just going to pump this Scooz up to just huge. And then if our opponent does want to trade the Mayhem Devil, I think that we're going to be okay with that now. Ooh, that's pretty decent. Let's make this a 7/7. I guess we could play... Make this a 6/6. They have to sacrifice the goose. This taps us out, though, unfortunately. Yeah, this still taps us out, but gotta do what you gotta do. We gotta get this Corvold off the battlefield. If they sacrifice their Gilded Goose too, then we just take more cards off the battlefield, which I'm fine with, and then all they're left with is the Mayhem Devil. We're still at 18. We can cast this Collected Company on the following turn. So yeah, it looks like they're just going to do that, which is fine by me. We wasted a couple cards, but... Okay, yep, that's fine. Yep, 6/6, so we just trade here. Either way, we kill the Corvold. If they have a backup Corvold, it's going to be a little bit annoying, but they can't cast it yet because they sacrificed a land last turn to get some advantage off of the other one. Woe Strider's really good. It means that they have multiple pings here, so this Llanowar Elf definitely isn't going to come down anytime soon. Going to take 3 here, go down to 15. Okay, we have the Llanowar. I think we're just forced to pass, so we want to cast the Mammoth as a land. I don't think so. I think I'm just going to pass the turn back to our opponent here. They missed a land drop, which is good. They're probably just going to scry here to see if they can hit a land, maybe. I have a pretty good ambush with this Collected Company if we can get it to go off and they don't have like a Fatal Push or a removal spell. They're tied up on mana, though, so... Not necessarily the worst thing either. And yeah, let's just pass turn back. And let's see what our opponent does here. Okay, just a redraw. Didn't really do anything else. They hit a land, it's going to be a little bit annoying. Okay, they do, and they pay the 2 life, so they could also be playing Collected Company. They got Woe Striders in their deck, so could be that version of it. The question is do we just want to take 6 here? Probably not. Got to make some blocks, I think. Could still destroy the oven next turn. Really hoping to draw some more lands, too, to keep it going. I didn't really want to play the Mammoth down, though, just because I feel like we want as many threats against them as possible. These Llanowar Elves are just not doing anything for us against them. Okay, gonna attack. And they're just gonna attack with that. That's kind of awkward. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. Let's see if they have a response for us. Okay, Mammoth, Ronus. Do they have their own Coco? They might. Alright. Didn't have it. Let's play a land, pump up the Mammoth. Could have a way to deal 3 damage somewhere. Or just a removal spell. Coming in for attacks here. Alright, getting to attack feels pretty good. They have their own Coco though. They did. So let's see what they have here. Wow, they just have tons of creatures. Alright, let's see what they do. They're just gonna take it? Then down to 6. Bit frustrating here just because they have the Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Kind of have to blow this up now, I think. Hit them for 10, put them down to 6. If we deal another 3, it's not really that impressive. I'm actually going to blow up the oven now. Because they can't kill any of our cards. If I just do this. They can kill them with the priests and do a lot of things, but they can't really go crazy with like the oven, another creature they play, and then just start pinging all of our creatures. Gonna pass a turn back here. Land of Werewolf isn't gonna do it either necessarily. Keep pumping up the Ronus. Oh, they gotta claim the Firstborn. Okay, so kind of a bit of a blowout, obviously, and then we just die to the Mayhem Devils here, unfortunately. Even if they didn't have lethal, so a bit of a tough first game, but let's see if we can bring it back against them. I think we want the Henge here. Just want to grind them out. Both of the Harpooners. Don't want the Land of Werewolves. They're just really weak. I like the Shaper Sanctuary and the Tamiyo Safekeeping. Kenra is not for this matchup. We can cut a land. And I think we're just going to run it like this. Kind of want the Ram Through maybe even. Is Ram Through better than... It's just so hard because we just never... It just feels like we never have removal against them. We didn't see... Oh, they have Claim the Firstborn. Cut a Coco. For a Ram Through. Let's try that. Seems kind of weird, but I think I want to try it out. I just want to have more removal for them. Every time that they have the Mayhem Devil, it just becomes a big issue. We could have killed it earlier in the game, but then we wouldn't have been able to kill the Korvold. So I think that was just more of like a pick your poison type situation, honestly. And we actually have a really, really good hand here. We have the Pelt Collectors. We also have a way to protect them with the Tamiyo Safekeeping if need be. So let's see if our opponent just goes for like a Gilded Goose type of play on turn 1. And maybe we can get both of these Pelt Collectors down, protect one of them that they want to target, and then start the beatdown with the Ooze, or potentially like drawing a land into another 3-drop that could help push through a lot more damage as well. And see what our opponent's deciding here. They may be deciding on a mulligan, and they did. So now they're deciding what card to put back, or take another mulligan. Let's get this Pelt Collector down. Paying life, and they just have an oven, so that's really good news for us. And we drew the untapped land for the Mammoth, so I guess we kind of want the Skoos because Mammoth keeps both of these Pelt Collectors going, and then Skoos can also get rid of a card potentially from the graveyard, like this Cauldron Familiar. So gonna get some beats going. Let's get the Skoos down. They might just sack the Cauldron Familiar now, which would be okay. Probably fine with that. I mean, we're just gonna get more damage in if that's what they do. They could end up blocking with it, like on combat after they bring it back, but then we just eat it with the Ooze. Having the protection now as well is pretty fantastic for us here. Yeah, it looks like they are gonna go for it. Probably just keeping it into the graveyard once the, or I guess keeping it in play once the Ooze comes down, excuse me. Yep. They're not going to block because we're just going to eat the cat. That's just not good for them. Put them down to 15, probably. Still want to draw land because we'll be able to Steel Leaf plus Tamiyo's as well, so having this protection spell is just great right now. It's going to really help push a lot more damage through. If they have Mayhem Devil, it's going to be a problem, like it usually is, but we're hoping for lands, removal spells, anything like that's going to help us here in the long run. So, okay, just going to take the damage. And we'll pass a turn. Keep this Tamiyo safekeeping up and keep the ooze up as well. It looks like they're going to claim it. We'll protect it. They have a push, that's fine. And they don't have anything now, so we're pretty safe here. Could have a 2-drop. Massacre for 0, that's okay. Not really that crazy, honestly. Okay, they're going to sack that. We'll lose a couple life here. They'll get another blocker, that's fine. We have 2 cards left, so... Ooh, that's actually really great, but let's get the Steel Leaf down, pump up all of our creatures. Go ahead, and I'm just going to swing out and see if they block with the cat. And then maybe we can exile the cat on second main phase, make them think that we just don't have any mana. The oven's tapped right now, so they can't use it. Obviously, next game is going to be a little bit harder too, considering that we're going to be on the draw, but right now we're in pretty good control of this game. It's going to be a bit hard for our opponent to get out of it. Yep, Mayhem Devil's pretty good. And if they have like a land and a claim the first burn, it would be really good for our opponent as well. So let's see if they have that, and they do not, so we're going to move to game 3 here. We may also want this unlicensed hearse. Let's see here. I think we just want to keep it how it is. Maybe bring in the other ram through. Could we cut a land for that? I don't think we can go down to 21 land, though. Could cut the Shaper's Sanctuary for it, considering that they have claim. Get a redraw if a claim isn't the greatest thing, because they still get the creature either way and get to do what they want. Could cut a Coco as well for ram through. I think we'll try this. I think that's okay. Let's see if this is going to be enough to get through our opponent. Just having more interaction, I just really like myself. And we can keep this hand. We have a couple of the cards that we need. We mostly just need lands for our hand to really get going. But either way, we still have a couple of drops that we can make in between. Opponent just has a Witch's Oven. Drawing land, which is great here. Getting closer to that Collected Company. I don't think that we want to play Scooz on turn 2 necessarily. Let's see if they have the cat here. Okay, they have Priest of Forgotten Gods, so I think we're just going to kill that. We'll play the ooh. Oh, well. What do we want to do here? I think we just want to kill the Priest of the Forgotten Gods, honestly. I just don't want to see this card. They can get a food token if they want, but we also get to get this off the battlefield, which is nice. And then we get to come in for 2. Alright, let's see. We're going to go come in for 2 damage here. Sorry about that. Just had to do something real quick. And they have 5 cards left. Really hoping to just get in for more damage here. We're doing pretty good so far, but... Okay, getting closer. That's actually really good. I think we'd rather get the Scoos down and keep this Tameo safekeeping up. And then maybe play the safekeeping post Collected Company, I think. Let's get in for 2 damage here, protecting the Ooze still. Opponent doesn't have... They don't have red mana, but they had the option to have red mana, which is interesting. And looks like they probably have their own Coco here, which is interesting. I think I'm going to attack and see what they do. I'm just coming in with the Pelt Collector, though. There's no real reason to come in with the Ooze because it could be a blowout. So let's come in with this and see if this baits them into getting the Collected Company out. It is just 2 damage, though. And just 2 damage, looks like. Okay, I'm completely fine with not playing into their game plans here. I mean, if they wanted the block, they had to do it last time. So now they could crack the food, but right now it looks like this is all that they got right now. Alright, and let's just pass the turn back to our opponent here. They do have the Coco, that's fine. And they're going to get to make a 0-1. And we'll pass the turn back. And they got 4 cards left. I'm going to pay 2 life here. They do have the Mayhem Devil. Let's see if they try to go for some targets here. We may still want to collect a company. Ooh, they're going to do that. I think we're just going to protect it. Yep. Protect it here. We get to eat one of their creatures and make our card a 3/3 if need be. Let's see if they go for it. It could end up just being that they waste all of their cards just trying to kill our Ooze, which I'm okay with that. Okay, gonna sacrifice that. Yep, gonna deal 1 damage there, sure. I get a Scry. Keep it on top. That's not a good news for us. Okay, gonna sacrifice the cat to try to deal this another one. We're gonna try to eat the cat. They can get it back with the food. Or we can just eat the cat again. And then kind of have to sacrifice their Mayhem Devil, maybe, to get rid of our cards. So it's a bit awkward for them right now. They kind of wanted to waste most of their cards to try to kill our Ooze, but it may end up backfiring here if we get 2 of these Ooze triggers to resolve. Right now, they don't have anything to sacrifice unless they want to sacrifice the Mayhem Devil, and if they do, we're like 100% okay with that. Cat's gonna go. We're gonna eat their Priest of Forgotten Gods just to make this a 4/4. Or excuse me, a 4/3, so it gets a damage. Takes another one. The Claim of the Firstborn isn't gonna happen, and we get to keep our Scavenging Ooze on the battlefield. They're gonna come in for 3. This isn't anything. I actually don't even know. That doesn't really make any sense, though, right? Unless they want to get back their Woe Strider, and opponent's just going to scoop it up. They kind of just made... In all honesty, our opponent made some really questionable plays there at the end. And... yeah, that just did not pay out for them. That was kind of just weird, honestly. I was expecting them to kind of hold off and then maybe try to do that on our turn, but I guess even if they tried, we would have had all of our mana open. So Skoo's definitely showing how powerful it is so far in this video against the Jund Sacrifice decks. And so far, we've actually done pretty good against little bit of a variety of decks. So we'll go ahead and see you for the post-game wrap here. Welcome back for the post-game wrap. Lots of close games there. We ended up grinding a bit with some Rakdos decks. Had some Jun Food decks give us a little bit of trouble. We were able to take them down, but overall, still a tough matchup for us. I think this deck's great. I think it has tons of game against everybody. I think that you may want to play some more interactive spells. I know I like that. I'm not certain, it just depends on what your type of strategy is overall. Even with a deck like this, everybody plays different, but I had a blast playing it. I really, really love green. I know I've been meaning to get this deck onto YouTube for a while, just because this is what I do. Anybody that knows me knows I love to play green. So if you made it this far and you've enjoyed the content, really, really appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave a like on the video, comment down below. All this would be greatly appreciated. We have 3 tournaments a month that are all free to play. By the time you see this on the following Sunday, it's going to be standard. Free to play, it's our PizzaBox Open, so the prizes are a little bit bigger. So definitely get in on all that action, and I hope that you all stay cheesy.